Canada entered the First World War on July 28, 1914, as a colony of the British Empire. Canadians needed to be galvanized into action, and posters were the marketing tool of choice in the early 20th century.
There was no internet then, so that was the means of mass communication. And also, graphic communication is much more powerful than masses of text.
Many posters specifically targeted men as an extension of recruitment efforts. These posters directed at men most often displayed positive or negative imagery, either to inspire potential soldiers or to galvanize them into action. Most positive images involved a single, idealized, heroic soldier, flanked by either the Union Jack or the Maple Leaf. This soldier was always handsome, broad-shouldered, and was often shown in action, holding his rifle. In one example from 1915, a soldier stands in the foreground of the silhouettes of men marching toward the front. The accompanying text, which states, "Here's your chance, it's men we want," effectively equates manhood and masculine identity with that of the frontline soldier. Active service was therefore the purview of a physically strong, healthy, and modern Canadian man. Posters also often took on a negative tone, as did this poster entitled, "You Are No Exception," which depicts a man who continues to make excuses as to why he is not enlisted. His shoulders are hunched and his head is bowed, making his stance appear less confident. In another, a man reclines in an easy chair, smokes his pipe, and asks himself why he does not join up. The implication in both ads is that these men cannot be strong and confident until they stop making excuses and enlist in the army. These men not only forego the opportunity to serve their country, but their chance to prove their masculinity among other men as well. In propaganda posters directed toward women, artists drew on three main themes: the priority to protect women, targeting women who could monetarily support the war effort, and encouraging women to conserve resources. These three themes paint a picture of the issues facing Canadian women during the war.
Ultimate manly attributes in that era was protection of women. And so it was, the idea was it was your duty not just to protect your nation, but to protect the women and the children of the nation who are the most vulnerable members of it. And at the same time, women were particularly effective, women's groups were particularly effective in recruiting. And they would make the same pitch that it is your duty.
One example of using women to advertise victory bonds depicts the sinking of the Llandovery Castle, an unarmed hospital ship, in 1918. The image revolves around a soldier in the water holding a dead nurse. Using this event implied that by purchasing victory bonds, Canadian women could ensure that such a tragedy would never happen again. Children were used in propaganda posters to inspire emotions of protection and guilt, and to urge soldiers and women to protect their nation and its future generation.
Propaganda against the Germans was that they were committing atrocities against children as well as women. And it was the idea that children very much had a stake. The future of the nation depended on the war effort.
Children on the home front were often shown without their father figures, which was meant to inspire other men to do their part in order to preserve Canadian family life. Children were also used in posters to encourage other children to participate in the war effort on the home front. Children were encouraged to collect scrap materials and ration their food in order to help maintain enthusiasm for the war. An example of this youthful participation is illustrated in a poster produced by the Canadian Food Board, which states, "Remember, we must feed Daddy too." Mother and child ration their food in order to preserve food for their loved one at the front. Propaganda posters were seen by all members of Canadian society and were designed to target and create diverse reactions in various groups of men, women, and children. Their impact resulted in a society dedicated to the war and home front effort, and today they prove to be a valuable resource which provides significant insight into the lives of Canadians during the Great War.